Salam guys, hope you guys are doing well. This is I think a first for us in this sort of video, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a new series we're planning to start, and is this dog right for you? We get a lot of messages asking, someone's situation of how their house is, the family, what other pets they have and whatever, and they always often ask us, will this dog be able to adapt with this, or is this dog suitable enough to get, in a sense? And the main one we always get it with, and it's going to be the first one we start with, is the Kangle, our little bread and butter. What do you want to say about it?
Well, I guess we'll first off, what is the Kangle? Firstly, it's a Turkish breed. It's a livestock guardian dog. So the real purpose why you're really getting this sort of breed is to protect your livestock, be on a farm. That's the main purpose of it. Yeah. But obviously as it's been more popularized in the West, they've been used for different purposes. Some people are just getting it because they're so interested in the breed. They're thinking, okay, let's just own one just for personal use. Some people are putting them into garden. Some people are using them for service. I've seen them a few times. Have you seen any other?
Personal protection, very, very few cases, a lot in America.
It's mostly just for... The thing is that I remember, like, a lot of people have been, like, whenever they've asked me, the main thing that they, like, what glues them onto the breed is strongest bite force. When they hear that a dog's got the strongest bite force, they automatically assume it's the number one dog. And the Kangle is like, it's like a selling point now to that dog.
Which is sad to say. Yeah. The dog's got the strongest bite force. But
it has got a strong bite. We've been bit by a Kangle a few times, so we know about that.
Yeah.
But we won't really get into the bite force for now. We'll get onto it a bit later.
I think the way we should do it we're going with this as,
there's no script.
There's literally no script behind it. But I think what we should do is, let's list out some pros and cons for these lot, and then whoever's watching...
And a discussion at the end of how it is.
So or whoever's watching and you're interested, hopefully a few pros, a few cons, or...
Well, I guess the first pro is that even as a first-time dog breed owner, they ain't that difficult to raise. They're really like come as you go. Like, not come. Is that the word? Like,
kind of.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you kind of grow up with it. It grows up with you. It adapts to how you are. It's not okay. So it's not like a first-time buyer. Oh, let me just search Kangle and what's for sale. Let me buy one. No research. For all dogs, you have to do research. Now, if you do your research, if you know, like, you've got your...
What you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, basically. Got your layout in your garden, the kennel set up, you've got the time for it, you can afford the living costs, the food costs, etc. Then you can get one, and like I said, it's one of those dogs which it learns as it grows, which kind of sounds silly and kind of like...
People think that's with every dog, but...
It's what everyone that's bought a Kangle has said the same thing.
It's when you get a Kangle, when you eventually get one, you'll understand that
it's its own dog. It's
its own dog, but it literally molds itself around you. So whatever you do on your day-to-day basis, it just molds itself to, okay, that's what it's got to do, but in dog form, in a sense, innit? That is a very big pro.
I guess another pro is that they're loyal, and they're very, what's the word?
Family
orientated, and they gel well with all people in your family. Now, for example, like in our household, my mom, she doesn't go out much to the dogs. We feed them ourselves. Same for my little brother as well. Now, you'd think the dog wouldn't get on with them, even though, like, we don't keep the dogs in the house, they're in the yard outside. So, but they get along with them because they know, they see their faces and they're friendly. And the thing is, it's not like one owner, one master, like kind of thing. It's like, it's true, like me and Seb, we've got a say over everyone else when it comes to with the dog, but the dog will know the difference between itself and the owners of the house. And actually, naturally, it knows who's the oldest as well. Like, it's intimidated with dad, even though dad doesn't really do much with it. So that's another pro of it. I guess another pro is, and I think this is just more like my personal one, is you have a really like badass dog, like in your ownership. Like, when you're walking a dog, like, I know everyone, not everyone, but some people will feel this way. Like, when they're walking their dog, you like eye up other people's dogs. It's the same like, you know, like in a car, for example, when you got a car and you look at that car, like, can I beat that car? It's more powerful. It's the same with a dog. Like you think, like, is your dog like stronger than the other dog? Even though you don't want to fight them, but it's just that's how you think, innit? And with the Kangle, like if you get a good one, like even any, to be fair, because they're just big, strong dogs anyway. You kind of feel like
you're confident.
You're confident, like you can go anywhere,
and you feel safe. That's the main thing. You feel protected
against people. Yeah.
You literally just feel safe and protected, knowing.
Which brings us on to naturally they'll guard.
Yeah, that's the other pro. They're natural guardians, and this is the one mistake though people get. And even when we sold people Kangle, they get this mistake, and there'll be a lot of people watching who will not watch the videos who are going to end up laughing because it's not, like I said, directed at anyone. But it's a common mistake. When you tell someone a Kangle's going to protect naturally, the day they get it at 10 weeks old, 12 weeks old, they'll message saying, it's not barking at a randomer, it's not barking at a stranger. One thing you have to do, and it's different for males and females, you need to let them have their settling in period, but then also for the females, it's technically, or most, I think in cases, is when they have their first heat cycle, it just triggers them. Once that heat cycle dies off, the switch from the dog that it was before to after is night and day. No. Same with the boys. The boys is a lot more
sudden.
Yeah,
and
sudden.
It's just like overnight you'll see it, like you'll just see the switch.
One night you'll go down to the puppy who, like I said, you were questioning why is it not protected, to literally the next day you're going on a walk, some dodgy guy's trying to approach you and that dog is going ballistic trying to protect you. No. You just need to wait. Just have patience with that dog, and that dog is perfect in my opinion.
Yeah.
Another pro, I say food cost. That's a big thing for people.
Yeah.
For the size of dog it is, I'd say the food cost is a pro, because
they don't eat much.
They don't eat much.
I think they eat less than like American bullies, don't they?
100%. They eat a lot less. Like, I think the only time is when it's summer. They won't touch their food, especially kibble. For like,
you have to realise these dogs, when they were getting fed back home naturally, they'll just be eating bread. Every now and then they'll get meat. So and yalas, which is like a mixture of different things. Yeah. That's all they're eating, and they're literally working all day. They work for their food, whereas dogs here, they just eat in a routine. So with the dogs here, like the Kangle dogs that you get here, you can feed them a little bit, you can feed them most, they'll be happy with regardless.
They'll adapt.
Yeah. If you start like spoiling it from young, it's gonna want to have a big diet, like a big meal every single day. But if you're like, if you know what you're doing, then like feed a little bits and treat it on some days, and always like keep their weight less as well. Don't like overfeed them, because a lot of people, what I've seen is they overfeed their dogs and they'll come back to us, oh yeah, the bones are like this. I'm like, we always tell people that when you buy these sort of dogs, that you should be very careful of weight management for at least 2 years whilst their bones are like forming, and then once the bone fusion stage is finished, then you can start adding the weight, because you've literally got like 15, 16, 20 years with that dog. So I
guess that takes you on to your first con in it, is the weight management. Yeah. Where it's not a con of the dog, it's more so a con of the owner not being responsible. So you can and can't put it at the list at the same time, but at least you guys know, if you're not careful with weight, it's hard to explain until you have it. When we say the dog doesn't eat much, if you put it in front of a puppy, the puppy's going to eat no matter what. It's a puppy at the end of the day, it needs to learn obviously. But if you get into the habit of eating a lot, it's like a fat kid.
Yeah.
They'll just want to eat even when they're older in it. So weight management, be careful with just how much you feed them, because like I said, your paws, you'll see the dog's paws going one way, the back legs sticking out the one way, and its hips. It's just a recipe for disaster,
it's horrible, because you got to think that dog's got like 15 years of like that sort of life, and it's just because you guys you writ it off at a young age. So be careful what you're getting yourself into. It's like a person at the end of the day. Well, not really, but it is.
Yeah, it's a living thing. Be careful with it.
Another con that I would say is, actually I've got a few actually.
I've got one that's a bit weird.
The first con is your living arrangements. You need to make sure that your gardens have got high fences. You need to make sure that you know, there's no dogs next door, and if there are dogs, the fences are even fucking taller, and there's like stuff around there so like dogs can't jump over. Because you gotta realize these dogs will literally leap a fence, even 6-foot fences.
Like, people don't believe us when we say that.
We've had Destin jump over
7, I think it was the biggest, wasn't it? What, 7 or 8?
Yeah,
7,
he just jumped over it, like literally gripped on, and then Talia as well, she's done the same as well.
She used to balance on the top and just rock back and forth, and then when she'd see us, she'd pop over just to annoy us.
So you gotta just make sure that like your area is fine. Which another point to add to that is if you got like dogs next door, if you got neighbours and that, introduce the dog from young if you want that lifestyle, if you don't want to have headache. Because if you don't have, if for example you don't do that,
and again, wouldn't you admit though, this isn't even the dog's fault, in the sense that dog naturally, it's the owner's fault.
Yeah, I'll have a conclusion at the end of what I actually think about
yeah, same.
owner.
I think we both can have the same thinking on that.
Another con I would say is walking these dogs, no matter if you're back in Turkey or you're here, can be a nightmare in terms of their strength. Like you can teach it how to walk, and then one day it'll teach you how to walk. Like literally, when it sees a dog, all that training and all that much effort that you put in for like a year will just go out the window if it sees something that it wants to go for.
And again, even with this part, in my opinion, it depends on how you've trained them to do. In that sense, like we've had loads of dogs. Baron, we thought we figured him out when it comes to going for dogs and other people. Nope, that dog, he taught us how to walk, but we adapted to his way. Reva, on the other hand, she's not
pulling nightmare.
Yeah, she's a pulling nightmare, but it's not the fact that she's scared of us. She respects us as the owners, and you've just got to almost speak in a certain tone to it, and she won't pull. She won't want to go. She has her little parts where it's almost like we've taught them, okay, you can pull from here to here, but then you need to calm down. Like for Reeves, from the doorstep of our house to the park, the local park, she will pull like a disgusting pull, like a pit bull pull.
Yeah.
She hunkers down and just goes.
She's got the strongest pull from any dog that I've ever walked.
Yeah, it's disgusting. As soon as you get to the park though,
yeah, it's just normal.
She just flicks off. She sees another dog, she'll look at you, she'll look at the other dog, and then it's more like if you just pull her to go, she'll go. But again, we've got experience with how many of them, so it could be that. I don't know myself if that is the case, or if we've just been blessed with a lucky dog like her.
I guess another con that I would say is...
I'm going to interrupt you, a poo size.
Yeah.
Their poo size. And as much as we're joking about it,
that's actually you got to take that into account.
It's a daily thing that's going to happen. Their poos can be massive. Yeah. Like, massive. Like,
and to add to that in is these dogs won't suit an apartment or like a indoor lifestyle.
Yeah, it can be done.
But it's it really depends on owner. Yeah. Then, because some owners, like we've had it in the past where they've had a dog in the apartment and they've raised it well every single day. They're out with it, they're giving it the required exercise. Would we do it personally? No, but it is possible. It depends on your lifestyle, etc. Now, a conclusion: would I buy a Kangle here in the UK or here in Europe? Yeah, I'm divided. If it's a puppy. If I'm getting a Kangle as a puppy and it's not seeing mountains, if it's not seeing field, etc., I would get it. I would not have it in a garden. I would have it on a farm, on a field with livestock. I want to make sure that it's got its natural job.
As much as it can.
Yeah. I want to implement that. I would never ever bring over a older dog here.
After having done it
ourselves.
We regret it.
We regret it. And the thing is, we did a good job to maintain it as well. We did we spent literally all day, every day with these dogs to maintain.
Spent a lot of money to try to give them the land to have space.
Everything was for them. But then once like the whole situation happened and the dogs had to go and whatever, we realised it was for the better. Like I said, God does everything for a reason, and like I said, we just got to trust His plan. And here, like, we can appreciate the dogs back home because all the dogs now are like situated in good homes, like on farms, etc. And it's like Destin, for example, like it has unlimited space to run. To come to 7-8 acres is nothing. Like even if you have like 20-30 acres, it's nothing.
Even if you had 100 acres, it's nothing.
100
acres. In the grand scheme of things, for a dog like that, a dog that can go 3 miles out, which he did. God knows how how far you went, like in terms of this is where my knowledge has gone on me. Perimeter, radius.
Or perimeter, you could say perimeter's
that's all right. Yeah, but he, like a dog like that goes 3 miles. If you like 100 acres is still a zoo to him. As much as he still can stretch his legs and whatever, he can do his work. That dog is meant for the literal plains and just straight vast land.
For me, the one reason, if you are thinking about like importing an adult dog, this is my advice to you: bring it over, breed the dog, give your country a good example of the dog, make sure the bloodline's here in that country, and then send the dog back home.
Yeah.
That way you can bring good quality over here to your country, which haven't seen that sort of life.
Yeah.
And then give the dog back to where it's from, or you can just do like artificial semen and all that. But natural breeding's better, and if you want the dog for a little bit, you can have it. So.
And then, I think my other conclusion from my end is, this dog's issues will resolve more around the owner.
Yeah.
In my opinion, bad ownership. Again, with a lot of dogs, but for me, a lot of faults with the dog that can happen is due to
owner, which is for most breeds.
An owner being irresponsible or just not listening or whatever, in my opinion.
I think that flowed quite well for a video that, well, we don't really script none of our videos.
Yeah.
So
but this one, we literally just said to each other, this will be a good series.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And
it's just that honest thought of the breed. It's not like one of those videos where you have like, these are the basic pros. These are the basic cons. And
this is just what we think.
This is just our take on it.
Like I said, we always love to see what your guys' interactions are in the comments. For this video in particular, let us know what dogs or what dog you want to basically see the similarity on, if this dog is right for you. It could be that you're interested in buying a dog and you're 50-50, and I know there's a lot of people that just trust us too when it comes to telling them what dog to get and what's going to suit them. So if it is what it is, drop it down in the comments and we'll make a video on it for you guys, and you never know, you may end up having a new dog because of that video.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully you like the video. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and inshallah we'll see you for the next video. Allah Hafiz.